Friday is International Women's Day, and this year's theme is all about investing in women and accelerating progress. Last year during the FIFA Women's World Cup, we saw the result of real investment in women in sport, with record crowds, TV numbers, media coverage and merch. And all of the TV networks and news sites told us that this was going to be a changing moment for women's sport in Australia, that the coverage of women's sport would never be the same. And last Thursday, every breakfast show and nightly news were reporting on the Tillies qualifying for Paris, and especially doing interviews with four-goal hero Michelle Heyman. The same Michelle Heyman who is leading the A-League in goals. The same Michelle Heyman who less than 48 hours later scored for Canberra in a game against Western United, whose own captain, Chloe Lagazzo, scored in that game too and set up another goal. Chloe was also a part of that Matilda squad that the media was all over just 2 days earlier. And what was the mainstream media coverage of that game the next day? Sunrise and Today mentioned the men's A-League, but there was nothing on the women's. Saturday Night News, ABC, 7 and 9 again reported on the men's A-League, but there was nothing on the women. The ABC even had time to report on wood chopping and the Irish men's cricket team winning a game. But the one that really frustrates me is Channel 10, who are the literal broadcasters of the A-League Women's. While the Sydney Derby was going on behind them, they didn't even think to mention the A-League Women's. And the same happened on Sunday. There was no coverage of Saturday night Sydney Derby, but of course there was plenty of time to talk about the men. And by Sunday night, I hadn't seen any mention of Alex Chidiak's cracker for the victory or Tamika Yallop's goal for the Roar. And this wasn't just a one-off, it happens every single weekend in our media, and it's not just football. And the fact is, the media still thinks of men's sport as a default. They can cover the men's basketball or the men's A-League and they think they've covered the entire sport. Well, you've covered about half of it. To all the mainstream media out there, enough is enough. Women's sport deserves to be invested in and reported on every single weekend. We shouldn't just hear about it when there's a Sydney Derby or when it's a grand final and there's nothing else on. It's why I started Her Way in the first place. By continuing to report on men's sport as a default, what kind of message do you think you're sending to your community, viewers, audience and daughters? So when it comes to women in sport, support and report on them, invest and they'll do the rest.